3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Yeah. Yes, Joseph.
Sorry, Mr. Speaker, I'm not quite sure whether you mentioned the forcing is the best way, but I'm, I guess, the only one not convinced entirely.
Okay.
Can you give a little bit more argument or supporting?
Can I try and answer that?
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't say it's the best way. I say a good way. It depending on the situation. I bring a few samples where you have, well, where you can use forcing as an effective way to solve it. I give you one simple sample.
Outside of the child and parent, can we see some business?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Let's say I'm Steve Jobs, and you are the new VP of marketing. You have an idea of the new technology. My idea is iPhone, and your idea is a BlackBerry. We have an argument. We're not meeting to the middle. There's no problem resolution here. I get to the point that I said, you know what? It's going to be my way. I'm going to implement iPhone whether you like it or not. Are you on board with me or not? In that situation, I took a risk. But I see opportunity. Yes, you bring up a good point, but I have a different vision. And my vision, because I have the authority as the owner of Apple, or maybe the CEO of Apple, then I can do that. And mostly forcing it's implemented if you have the authority to do it.
Thank you.
Galia.
Were you going to show other methods, or we kind of just didn't have time?
Oh, I didn't have time. I only described 4 points.
Okay, but is there other way other than forcing? Because
Oh yeah. There are 4 other ways, right? Problem solving. It's if you can do it, that's good. But the next level is compromise, lose-lose situation, and then later on it's withdrawal, and the last one is forcing. But my point in here is forcing could be a good thing.
But what you can do is you can force your idea in a clever way. You gotta let them think as if it was their idea, but it's actually your idea. And the way you can force it is by attaching facts to it. So for example, I'm gonna say, well, statistically, BlackBerry is less used than an iPhone. You say, for example, I'm to develop an app, and that way I'm going to sell you the idea and kind of make you feel as if it was your idea.
I see. Okay, that's a good point.
Can I answer to that?
Yeah.
Well, that's respective to this example, but you can say because he is the owner of the company or he has more experience, through experience it showed this and that. And this way you can convince them since their idea is a new one.
Yeah.
And it's from your experience, this is the safer one to use because we've been already used this pathway. Whereas yours is new and let's try it later.
That's good.
I was writing your, and I didn't look at the screen. Could you please go back to this quickly if you don't mind, to the previous, please, thank you.
Okay, no problem. Any other question? Yes.
I agree with that. You can use the facts and the statistics to sway the other party in a certain direction. But I think that would still build up a lot of resentment in them if you say forcing, right? I think it's important if you're going to use this technique, and I don't think it should be called forcing, you have to acknowledge their feelings that they have different point of view, and you understand that, and you know they might not feel very good about you going in a different direction, but these are your reasons.
That's
you
a good.
still do it, but you have to be sensitive if you're going to use that approach.
That's a good point.
Otherwise, they won't be on your. They might be on your team, but they will consciously or subconsciously sabotage the operation because they won't be really on board in spirit. So you have to be sensitive, I think.
That was a good point, Parmjit. One more question? Can I? Okay, one more question, yeah?
Why would compromising be a lose-lose situation? Why can't we call it a win-win situation? For instance, in your example, the supplier could continue business with the client. That's a win-win situation, and the client gets a discount. Is that a win-win situation rather than a lose-lose situation?
That's a good point. That's a good point. Depending on which area you see it from. But problem solving, it's a win-win situation in any, you don't lose anything. Like in any single angle, you win. But compromise, it's basically, yes, if you look at it from different perspective, there might be a win-win situation because you compromise, right? You accept it, but you lose something. You will be late, first of all. But you get, on the other side, you get the discount. And on the other person, they will lose money a little bit, but they're still acceptable. So it's not necessarily, depending on which angle you see it, but problem solving win-win situation is every angle it's a win-win situation. This one, it's a lose-lose situation if we see it from this way. We compromise, we win, we still get something out of it, but we have to compromise to get it.
Is that the PMI definition? of
Yes,
PMI?
yeah.
Aries, thank you very much. Excellent work.